Okay, this took a long time to get together. This is by request, and this is one of the most imaginative solos I've ever heard. Really is. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. I mean, the progression is super simple, but the melodic content, I guess I would say, is epic. Okay, so we're starting off over a D chord, and we're picking up with this phrase. And what I'm doing is I'm just playing strings 8 and 5. So I'm starting with my left knee lever right in strings 8 and 5 at the 3rd fret. Then I roll off my knee lever, put in my A pedal, and then slide to the 5th fret. I'm only going to attack once, right? So that first knee lever is, of course, left knee lever right, lowering your low E string. Okay, so that's our D phrase there. Then we have okay, and what we're doing is we're shifting to a G chord right there in the progression, and I'm grabbing strings 8, 6, and 5 at the 10th fret, and I'm starting just with my B pedal down, and I'm going to roll on my A pedal. Then I'm going to play string 5, 2, yep, and then strings 4 and 5 again, roll on your A pedal, and then grab strings 4 and 5 and roll off your A pedal and roll on left knee lever right, and then grab strings 6 and 5, A and B pedal down. Okay, so you have yep. Okay, so that's a real interesting phrase to me, because generally playing this second string over a G chord, right, can sound really dissonant over a 1 chord, but since this is a 4 chord maybe, I don't know for sure, this C sharp sounds kind of ethereal and ambient. And so if we were in the key of G, the C, it should be a C natural. But instead we're using the C from the D major key. So what this kind of turns it into is the Lydian mode over that 1 chord. So that's pretty heavy. And if that doesn't make sense, that's okay. That's all right. Okay, so I think that's why that's such a unique melody. And then you can hear it right here when I lower my left knee lever right and grab strings 4 and 5. Right? It's the same note. So he's using that sharp 4 note over the 4 chord to kind of get this cool melody and ambient sound. Okay, so far we have okay. Now our next phrase is okay. And so this is back over the D chord, and I'm playing at the 10th fret strings 4, 5, and 6. Right? Just open, no pedals or knee levers. And then 8th fret, I'm rolling on and taking off my A pedal on just strings 8 and 5. Okay, now I'm going down to my 5th fret, strings 8 and 5 for the rest of this. I'm just hammering on my A pedal quickly, and then down to the 3rd fret, strings 8 and 5, hammering on and pulling off my A pedal, and then rolling on left knee right. Right, so I have okay, there you go. That's your phrase there. So that's kind of a tricky one. Okay, Now I've got this phrase, and we're back over our G chord. Alright, so that's real weird over a G chord to me. And so what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the 10th fret and I'm grabbing the 8th string 3 times. And then I'm going to slide the 10th fret on string 4 down to 9, up to 12, and then back to a closed position G chord, A and B pedal in, strings 4, 5, and 6, the 10th fret. And then this here. Okay? And what I'm doing here is I'm playing like an E dominant 7, 6 chord, and I'm grabbing string 9, 5, 9, 5, and 4, and I'm putting my A pedal in and then taking it out, right? So what this wants to do to me is it's almost a fake towards the 5 chord, right? Strings 4, 5, and 6 at the 12th fret. So like a secondary dominant chord for you theory guys, right? But instead, he's going to go back to his D chord. Right, so that's a cool kind of decoy, I guess you could say, wanting to lead the listener to the 5 chord, but then going back to the 1. Right? So anyway, that G measure. Oops, sorry. Okay, now I'm going back to this phrase here. Okay, and this one's kind of tricky. And what I'm doing is I'm grabbing strings 8, 6, and 5, 10th fret, back to my D chord. And then 8th fret, I'm going to hammer on and pull off my A pedal, just strings 8 and 5. And then I'm going to slide into the 6th fret with my left knee lever left, raising my E string and my A pedal again, same 2 strings, 8 and 5. And then slide to the 5th fret, take out your knee lever, and then slide to the 3rd fret, and then take out your A pedal, put in left knee lever right, and then stay there, take out your left knee lever right, and grab strings 8 and 5 again, A pedal down, and slide to the 5th fret. So that's a lot of the explanation for that lick. Okay, so that's your lick right there. I'm going to try and go through it one more time, a little quicker. 10th fret, 8, 6, and 5, no pedals or knee levers. It's your D chord. 8th fret, just strings 8 and 5, A pedal, hammer on and off. 6th fret, slide into it, left knee lever left and A pedal. 5th fret, take out your knee lever. 3rd fret, take out your A pedal, put in your right knee lever right. Then put your A pedal back in, knee lever out, slide to the 5th fret. That's your phrase there. Pretty tricky over the D chord. So now I'm headed back into my G chord and I'm going to do a similar theme that we saw at the beginning. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm out of my G closed position at the 10th fret. I'm going to grab strings 5 and 6 with the B pedal down, roll on my A pedal, pinch those same 2 strings again, and grab string 2, string 4 and 5, A pedal still down, string 1, string 4 and 5 again. Then here I'm going to roll off my A pedal and roll on my left knee lever right. Then I'm going to finish off by grabbing strings 5 and 6, B pedal down. Okay, Sounds really pretty. Now we're going back to a D chord. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm using strings 3 and 5, and I'm going to slide up to the 13th fret with the A pedal in. Then 12th fret, B pedal comes in, so A and B here. Slide down to the 10th fret, all on strings 3 and 5, and then let out A and B. Okay. Now I'm going to grab string 1, and I'm going to raise it up a whole step before I attack it. And then let go of that raise. I raise it with right knee lever left, whole step. And I'm going to grab strings 4 and 6. Okay, so now the progression goes to an A7, and I have this phrase. Okay, so if I think about this, I'm starting off here, and I'm starting behind two frets behind an A closed position major chord. So if you think of fret 12, strings 4, 5, and 6, A and B pedal down. And I go down a whole step, and I take out my A pedal, and I roll in left knee lever right. I got my B pedal still in. There's my A7 right there, right? But I'm only starting off with 2 strings, strings 4 and 6. Okay, so I've got left knee lever right in, lowering string 4 a half step, and my B pedal in. I'm going to pinch those 2 strings again. Let out your left knee lever right, then string 1, then string 4 twice, then string 1, roll on or raise it a whole step, then let go with your right knee lever left if that's where your change is. Okay, and that's how you do that measure there, right? So one more time. Okay, now we're going to finish off with this lick. Okay, and so we're back to our D chord for that last measure, and I'm grabbing strings 4 and 6 with my B pedal in. I'm going to let out my B pedal, and now this is a real cool phrase, kind of a funky Memphis kind of feel. Stax groove is how I like to think about it. And so I'm grabbing strings 10 and 6, so that's kind of a far reach, and I'm hammering on my A and B pedal, grabbing string 4, and then I do it again. And then I let out my A and B pedal. So I have, right. Now I'm going to slide down to the 5th fret and put in my A and B pedal once I get there. Okay, so that last measure. All right, okay, so that's how you do that first solo there. All right, so that's a really cool solo right there. Melody all over the place. It's almost like a song in itself, I think is why I like it so much. And also using that second string or the sharp 4 over the 4 chord is a really cool idea and one that you can use too. Okay, so let me try the whole thing. 3, 4, 1. Whew, that's a tough one. Okay, there you go. A Robby Turner classic solo.